Welcome to 3FS TV's Theological Studies class, and we have Dr. Evil. We're very fortunate to have him accompanying us.
Whoa.
So we're going to be reading Surah 1, and then we're going to be, so we're going to approach this like we've never read the Quran before. So let's just dive in. Surah 1, Mecca, 7 verses. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, praise be to God, Lord of the worlds. Let's notice the plural. The compassionate, the merciful. Actually, it's all exclamation marks, so he's sort of yelling all this. King on the day of reckoning. That doesn't sound promising. So install a dictatorship when he destroys the world. Thee only do we worship, and to thee do we cry for help. So you have to cry for help to the person that you have to praise. That's the slave master relationship. Guide thou us on the straight path, the path of those to whom thou hast been gracious, with whom thou art not angry, and who go not astray. And that is a whole surah. This is one of my least favorite surahs, but you have to start with it because even though it's not chronological, it gets really good as soon as you start reading the cow. Do you want me to read we'll read the first page because we've only been in here for a few minutes. Okay, so do you anything that you want to touch on from Surah 1? There's a thing I'll bring up that it is pretty interesting. It does say Lord of the worlds. So how did they know there was more than one world in the 7th century? Carlo, over to you.
In my version, it says a Lord of Alamin, and that is all that exists, and not all worlds. So it can be translation, no?
Yeah, they didn't mean exoplanets, or did they? I mean, we didn't know about other planets until, what, the telescope, Galileo.
But there exists more than our planet, you mean?
Yeah, but even like Jupiter and the other planets, we thought those were wandering stars. We didn't think they were actual planets. So this is that's the worlds thing. I'm not getting a good explanation from you or for you, but it's already tainted because it says that he's the compassionate and the merciful, and he yells it. So God would be yelling this, and then he says, King on the day of reckoning, and you know what a reckoning is? That's basically an apocalypse. So he's compassionate and merciful, but he also wants to destroy the world and install his theocracy. And then he makes us cry to him for help, and we have to worship him as we're in tears. And this is the best part. This is the least violent part. Sorry, Carlo, have you read the Quran? Because if you haven't, you're going to love this.
Not entirely, no.
It's Old Testament style. God sets people up, and then he basically sets them up, and then he sets the punishment for failing to not be able to overpower God because he's omnipotent. Let's see how he does it. Okay, Surah 2, the cow. I don't know why it's called the cow, but I'm pretty sure aliens will be confused when they get converted. Medina, 286 verses. Ooh, now we got something to milk. And it starts again with the subtitle, In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. That's 3 times he said that in 9 lines. So 30% of the start of the book is just him. That's all right. I'll dive in. Alif Lam Mim. Now, no one knows what that means. Even Arabic people don't know what that means. It adds to the sort of mysterious nature of the book, but it just frustrates me because if this is meant to be the perfect word for everyone, and it's just these just random syntax.
To me, it looks like it's establishing the authority of Allah. No.
Alif Lam Mim. Well, there is a. We'll check the notation next time when we come back. We're almost finished the page. Who believe in the. Oh, wait. No doubt is there about this book. Okay. So that's circular reasoning right there. But
yeah, the Quran is true because the Quran says the Quran is true. Yeah,
that's what it's saying, isn't it? And there's no doubt. It's 100% certain. It is a guidance to the God-fearing. Well, luckily for me, I'm not really scared of God, so. But I'm interested to see if what convinces people to think this would be something to base your life around. So there must be something in here. Who believe in the unseen, fair enough. Who observe prayer, ridiculous. And out of what we have bestowed on them, expend for God. So it's basically submit and believe in the unseen, which is interesting because the unseen was known back then because they knew about air. You can't see air, but you can breathe it because they had all the sort of Greek technology stuff, didn't they?
Looks straight familiar to the God of the Old Testament too, from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like this. It's not the God of the New Testament. It seems like he's gone Old Testament again. And you wait till the plot thickens and we introduce devils and Muhammad. Oh boy, we've only got one character going so far. And who believe in what hath been sent down to thee, and in what hath been sent down before thee, and full faith have they in the life to come. So it's definitely promises a afterlife. It doesn't tell you much about it. It just says there is one. And it says that this book has been sent down. Notice the down. So this implies that it actually fell from the sky like a rock, like a meteorite. So because people back then, they thought heaven was actually the stars. So they actually believed this book came down from, it just sort of fell out the sky. God sort of was just passing by and just chucked it off. Okay, let's finish off. We're almost done. These are guided by their Lord, and with these it shall be well. That's fair enough. All right, here we go. We can't even get through one page without mentioning infidels. As to the infidels, you'll want to listen closely to this one, Dr. Evil. This applies to you, I think. Yeah, this is aimed at you. I'll be Allah, and you can be the infidel. As to the infidels, such as this heathen, alike is it to them whether I warn them or warn them not, they will not believe. So if you don't believe after reading the first page, this is what I've done. I'll be Allah. I've set you up, and I've set the conditions for you to fail, and then I've set the punishment for you that you receive when you fail. Inevitably, the conditions that you cannot possibly. So
you get
whether I warn you or not, you will not believe.
Mhm.
So you're basically up shit creek without a paddle, I'm afraid. And it just gets worse. So their hearts and their ears, God or me has sealed up. So your ears and your heart has been sealed up. I'm not sure if they mean a metaphorical heart. They probably mean that the mind, because Aristotle thought the mind was in the heart. But sealing up the ears means you can't hear the
Yeah,
book.
sperm comes from the spine too. Yeah,
Thanks for
that's
that
you did read in the
observation.
Quran that sperm comes from the spine.
Yeah, well, it's actually it's pretty funny because if you approach it in the right way, it just gets it gets so crazy. Okay, this is what's in store for you. Okay, their hearts and their ears have been covered up, and over their eyes is a covering. For them, for you, a severe chastisement. So a chastisement means it could be like a little gentle whipping, or it could be, you know, torture.
Stoning or something more probably by that time. No.
Well, let me just ask you: is anything that I've said so far? We've got at least two arguments in favor of the Quran that I can see. We've got the worlds thing, and we've got the no doubt is there about this book claim.
Yeah.
But if you look at the no doubt is there about this book, if you look at the bit after it, it just says it is a guidance to the God-fearing. So basically it's saying believe this or I'll get you.
What I think that is very particular, that is they immediately after establishing the authority and the power of Allah, they immediately go to disbelieving is punished with eternal suffering,
Yeah, and
and
that's the last
yeah,
thing you would want.
immediately the
So,
fear factor.
ah, so yeah, no, that's a very good point. I like it. I think you're going to be a deist or a Muslim by the end of this. I'll probably be Allah. Oh, okay. As long as you don't end up as a covetous polytheist, you'll be you'll be you won't be Allah's arch enemy. That's actually his arch enemy, a covetous polytheist or polytheist. Okay, so you're all covered up. You can't see, you can't hear, you can't. Your mind's gone. And some there are who say, we believe in God and in the latter days, yet are they not believers? So this is for people who are sort of, they say they believe, but they sort of just saying that to sneak by, which
Yeah,
is
to get
probably what
them
I would do.
to heaven. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they
at
don't.
least if you do, at least if you play it that way, God doesn't set you up for for his own punishment that he's arranged for you. If you just pretend you're not a believer, but all right. So fain would they deceive God and those who have believed, but they deceive themselves only and know it not.
But
So
for them,
you
there's also hell. Huh?
well, we haven't actually mentioned hell yet, but what there is definitely punishments if you're an infidel. Define infidel however you like, but whatever an infidel is, there's severe consequences, a chastisement. And you
Paying
not
for
only
2 deaths for their lives. I see. No, it's my transliteration. Translations go are very.
I've got to read the next little bit because this is one of the best parts. All right, of the cow. Disease. This is talking about you again. Diseased are your hearts, and that disease hath God increased in you. So God's increased your disease, and you haven't. So he's and disease. He's put a disease in your heart, which means your mind or your soul would be what they were trying to refer to there. I think not your actually the pump of blood, but the actual brain. Okay, so this is what you
The heart
get.
was the mind, the conscience. Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Carlo?
But they
Anyway,
call
I
the heart the
haven't finished
conscience.
with the punishments for you. You don't just get increase in your diseases. You get there's a sore chastisement also
Mhm.
for that they treated your prophet, their prophet, as a liar. So if you've treated him as a liar, this stuff's in store. Have you are you agnostic yet?
What?
I know the answer to that, but are
You know
you
what I
sort of
am.
slipping? Okay. And when it is said to them, cause not disorders in the earth, they say, nay, rather do we set them right. That's a pretty harmless verse. I like setting things right. See, that's a peaceful verse. We found a peaceful verse. Carlo, the first peaceful verse that isn't just a like a scam where he says he's merciful, but then he sets poor fuckers up.
Only 14 verses before we came to a peaceful verse.
Before we begin to what?
Before we saw our first peaceful verse,
Quiet
we only
infidel.
read 14 verses.
Yeah, yeah. Um. Okay. Well, cool. But I like it. Do you like this part where it says "cause not disorders in the earth"? That's like that's sort of saying that the earth needs to be in balance, right? See, that could see once you connect these dots with the world argument, and then you connect it with this one, which isn't a circular reasoning, by the way. And if there is a disorder, you're meant to set it right. So Allah the environmentalist, cool. But don't worry, it gets messy again real soon. Is it not that they are themselves the authors of disorder? So you're the author of this disorder, and I have the Muslim have to come and fix it up. It says it right here. And when it is said to them, when it is said to you, believe as other men have believed, you say, shall we believe as the fools have believed? Is it not that they are themselves the fools, but they know it not? So this is basically the believe it or else sort of thing. You're a fool if you don't believe, and you don't want to be a fool. Everyone else believes. Come on, join the team. Play the faith card. Okay, and when they meet the faithful, so when you meet someone like me, you say we believe, but when you are apart from the faithful, you're with Satan's plural. So this is I have to unpack this one because this sort of why would God create not just one Satan but multiple Satans? And it doesn't say how many. Could be millions. And are these? And he says that he's all merciful and all compassionate, but isn't this a contradiction if he's creating little monsters that only purpose is to corrupt people?
Yeah, the Satan's figure he describes them immediately as a deceptive. Huh? So, yeah, deceitful, trying to let people not see the truth.
So basically, from my Muslim perspective, I'll be the Muslim. Um, uh, you can verily we hold with you, and at you we only mock, because you're deceived by Satan, so we mock you. We kick you while you're down. You've been deceived by God's own cretinous creation, and then when we find out about it, which we already know, and we mock you. So we just add
it's
insult
your
to
own damn
injury.
fault if you're deceived by Satan. It's your own damn fault. So that's like that verse that says, I don't know which chapter it is. If something good happens to you, it's because of Allah, and if something bad happens to you, it's your own damn fucking fault. That's
Yeah.
how he feels. You.
Oh god. And we're only on like 1.5 pages in, and so you can imagine we found one nice verse though that I thought was pretty good.
Mhm.
Okay, but let's get back to the infidel stuff. God shall mock you and keep you in your rebellion. He's actually going to force you to stay in your rebellion, and he's going to make you wander in perplexity. So you're going to be wandering around, bewildered, confused, and God is actually making this happen. And he's mocking you while he's doing it too. So how does that make you feel, Carlo?
Well, it makes me thinking about why would he do that? What have
Because
I
you
done wrong?
you didn't choose your circumstances of birth, did you?
No.
But he's punishing you for it. Does it mean?
That's the big question I would have. Why would he punish me for something I have no control of?
And also, he's using sort of more petty emotions. He's mocking you. He's. I mean, maybe that indicates a sense of
He makes
humor.
me think, yeah.
I mean, so this God could, in principle, exist. Would you agree so far?
Not yet. No.
Where's the thing that sort of disproves it?
There's nothing that disproves it. There's nothing that proves it.
Oh, actually, I think that maybe because where they mention the prophet as a liar, there's no. I mean, either he told the truth or he probably did both.
It's not
But
because
I
you
don't
are
think it's been
wrong
proven or
that you
disproven.
lied. It's not because you were wrong. You told something wrong that you lied. Also, lying has intention after it.
But I think I'm starting to see how it's so effective at converting people because you don't want to be wandering in perplexity with Allah mocking you, God mocking you, and there's no way out. Once you start, you're forever just screwed. These are they who have purchased error. So you've purchased error at the price of guidance. But their traffic hath not been gainful, neither are they guided at all. They are like one who makes a fire, and when it hath thrown its lights on all around him, God taketh away their light and leaveth you in darkness you cannot see. So he's basically put you in a empty vacuum, taken all the light out, and just left you there to just put you on in just the most boring, torturous, monotonous place possible. He's not relenting on you. I would not want to be in your shoes. Whew. And it doesn't end here. It just all right. Here's what he does next to you. He's got a pretty. He's planned this out. Okay, he's made you deaf. He's made you dumb. He's made you blind. Therefore, you cannot retrace your steps from your error. So again, he set you up and you've fallen and you have no say in the matter, but you take all the rap. How do you feel? And also I'll add to that, he set you up and now you're in deep trouble and it's not your fault. Because you can't believe, even if you wanted to believe, he would stop you. Yeah, so this is getting. I think the morality thing is coming into question now. You got to question his motives. I mean, I'm fine because I'll be the Muslim. You'll be the infidel. You're gonna, dude. I mean, I'm actually starting to question Allah's motives as a Muslim because you haven't done anything wrong. He's setting you up, and he's not letting you see the light. He's locking you in a dark room with no way to see, which actually doesn't make sense because if you're blind, you don't need to be in darkness because you already are. But so he just makes it double dark. All right. Or like those who, when there cometh, oh, this part, you like this part. This is what people thought thunder and lightning was back in the 7th century. Okay. Or like those who, where there cometh a storm cloud out of the heaven. So storm clouds come out of heaven. Did you know that? Because this isn't just this is literally
water.
truth. Sorry, go on. Did you know that heaven makes storm clouds?
Yeah.
And big with darkness, thunder, and lightning. That's what a storm cloud does. Thrust their fingers.
I thought the lightning came from Zeus, you know?
Lightning, well, they didn't know about electricity. So wait until the thunderclap happens. Hold on. Okay, so you and me are peasants back into the 8th century, and we hear the storm coming, and we think it's coming from Allah's realm in heaven. So we put our fingers in our ears, and because of the thunderclap, we're so scared for fear of death that God is round about the infidels. So the lightning storm scares people so much that God is around the infidels, which means that I'm going to be around the infidels for fear of death. Because remember, Allah's controlling the storms because they come from heaven, right? So you don't want to get struck by lightning. But then it begs the question, Muslims would get struck just as often as infidels would. Because we know now that it's weather and electricity. The lightning almost snatcheth away their eyes. Do you know what I think that's referring to? They didn't know. You know how when you look at a bright light, it burns into your retina? Have you ever looked at lightning and it burns into your retina? Well, this is what's happened to these poor peasants who wrote this book. The lightning almost snatcheth away their eyes. Okay, I got it. So oft as it gleameth on them, they walk on in it. But when darkness closes upon you, they stop. And if God pleased of their ears and of their eyes, would he surely deprive them? So, he's sort of given you a possible out here. Verily, God is almighty. But then he changes up. He goes, O men of Mecca. So this part only applies to men. And the Mecca thing is just all Muslims, I think. Adore your Lord. Now, should you adore someone who does cruel things to Carlo? I don't think so. Would it? Okay, so he wants you. I want you to adore me. I'm Allah.
Yeah.
And you would lose. I would lose. You should lose self-respect because you've just been punished the whole time, and you've done nothing wrong. And even if you wanted to become a Muslim, you couldn't.
Of course, respect is deserved. It's not earned just because because they say.
Yeah, so it's not like the Bible, where you can sort of on your deathbed you can recant and still get to heaven. you're actually screwed right from the beginning. Page 2, and it's like game over for you. Now it's
Yeah, it's
just
like
what
an
it's
abusive
going to do.
relationship, no?
The rest of the book's probably just cooking up torture. How to torture you or convert the rest of the Muslims, or actually the people of the book. Who hath made the earth a bed for you? So I've made the earth a bed for you. That's cute. And the heaven a covering. So did you catch that? The heaven is a covering, like it's the sky. If they thought that the heaven was, the stars were close, and that if you could just reach into above the sky, that would be heaven.
I've never
Poor
understood
ignorant
that,
peasants.
why people must worship that God. If
Running
God,
around
if there
terrified of
were a God and
lightning.
they make you they give you life, they would want you to enjoy life and live it to the best and
Yeah,
worship
well,
in heaven.
it's not. I mean, you and me would be running around looking at lightning, and we'd be staring at it, and then our retinas we'd go blind for a second, and we'd go, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm not Dr. Evil right now, because because you got some pretty grim uh, uh, billions of years ahead of you, +1." All right, let's finish the last paragraph.
Okay.
All right, so he's made a bed for you. He's made heaven. He's made the sky, basically, which is heaven, and hath caused water to come down from heaven. So that's true, because where did all the water come from? When it came from comets, didn't it? And if heaven is the
What do you mean by
stars,
the flood?
all right, I'll read it again. Okay, so and God caused water to come down from heaven, and by it brought forth fruits for your sustenance. Your sustenance. So he's feeding you, and he's giving you a bed, even though you're an infidel, and it's just a matter of time before you fall into another one of his elaborate traps. That that where he's either going to chastise you if you're lucky, or he's going to get out the more, lock you in his dark cage where you're blind and dumb and deaf. Okay, I think there's only 3 lines left. Do not then wittingly give peers to God. I'm not sure what that means. Do not wittingly, so knowingly, give peers to God. Oh, okay, so that's saying what would a peer of God be? It would be another God, wouldn't it? He's a jealous God. He doesn't like. This is the first mention of polytheism, I think. So do not mention peers of God. That's good. And if ye be in doubt, so this is what we'll end it on. And this is aimed at you, because you still don't believe. I can't believe it. And if ye be in doubt as to that which we have sent down to our servant, that's old Mo, then produce a surah like it. All you have to do to disprove the Quran, they've actually told you how you can disprove the Quran on page 2 at the end. So if you can make a surah as like this one and summon your witnesses beside God, the problem is God has to be there to confirm it's better. So that hasn't been seen for a while, so he might be hard to track down when you actually do write a better surah. So if ye are men of truth, but if ye do it not, and never shall ye do it, then fear the fire, prepared for the infidels, whose fuel is men and stones. All right, that's a great ending, because I'll read that again, because it's just this is I'll be Allah, and that this is what I've got in store for you. Okay. Right. So have you produced a surah that says that's better than the first one we read?
What?
You know the first, right? You know the first surah we read where it says, "Lord of the worlds, King on the day of reckoning." You could write something better than that. I think you could.
Maybe.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do to disprove the Quran. It tells you how to do it, that you can do it this way, but you need to have God as a witness. God has to agree that it's better than his own book, and he's not going to do that, is he? Because we've already established that he's a bit shifty. He's a Machiavellian sort of character. He'll put one over you if he can get the chance.
I don't understand if Allah or God is love. Why does he have to threaten?
Yeah, why? Well, I think it's because he insists on two things that I've seen. He insists that there's big punishments if you don't believe, and there's big rewards if you do. So it's sort of Pascal's wager. But at least he set up a null hypothesis for us. So if we can write it, like Shakespeare's written, Carl Sagan have written better things than some of the surahs, I think. So we'll compare them in later episodes. All right, so this is where you are at the end of this story. You're in hell now, actually. The third page, hell's already cooking. So I've thrown you in
the
there.
Bible, I thought I was going there too, so it's not very much different.
Okay, actually, so you will go to hell if you don't produce a surah better, because you're an infidel. The only loophole to escape from this noose is if you actually produce a surah better that God approves and agrees is better, which is actually going to be pretty damn impossible. You can't write a book that's better than someone who's omnipotent and omniscient.
I think you can write a book that's better than that book.
Well, Shakespeare did it, and I think Carl Sagan's done it lots of times. So, and then fear. So this is what you're in. This is where you're going to be cooking until we pick it up next time. You should be fearing the fire that I've prepared for the infidels. So you're not alone. At least you've got company. You get to be roasted together. But the interesting part is the fuel that I'm cooking you with is men and stones. And if you know anything about how to make a fire, you don't use people and stones because they don't burn. But yeah, I mean, see, I think that because it's so weird and some of the things that, because it's from such a different era when people thought that lightning was like the scariest thing out there. It's like God's wrath. I mean, they were so ignorant that I mean, they believed that you can make hell run on stones and men. But that's where you are, and we'll let you cook. So are you happy about how you've this? We're 3 pages in. Let me see how many pages there are. Oh my, there's about 400 pages, and there's like something like 90-something 100 surahs. So yeah,
I think I've skimmed it and it's pretty repetitive, no?
So we're 1% in, and you're already roasting in hell with other infidels, and you've already been set up 3 times for doing nothing wrong. Just the only mistake you made was being born, and from there on in, and now you're really screwed because you're in hell. Because he's all powerful, he can make stones and men to cook you with.
It's done to make you feel powerless.
All right, so I think that will wrap up.
Nothing.
Talk through that. That was good. Let's pick that one up at another time and maybe get some other people on, or maybe a Muslim on. But we'll have to mute them, I think, because they will but because they can, Muslims can elaborate on it for us. But yeah, we'll
Oh,
put
fine.
that up, and hopefully you can join me some other time, Carlo.
Okay.
Thanks, Dr. Evil. Um,
Thank you,
I'm
Brady.
very sorry for what's happened what's going to happen to you, and
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it's not going to happen to me. All right, over and out.
Okay.
See you
Bye.
later.
See you later.
You want to say goodbye, Carlo, or you want to just be
Bye.
that mysterious sort of cool guy who sort of just doesn't say much and just goes, "Oh yeah."
Right.
All right.
Okay. Just bye. Good evening.